Hello everyone. This is Rizwan again, and I am back with another template. And the topic this time is software test plan. So, while designing this template, I have also tried to explain with an example uh, based on Supernova e-commerce platform web application. So let me just zoom in and walk you through the whole steps that are required to build a software test plan for your software product. So the first frame is related to the sequence and steps along with a description of each section to build a professional software test plan. So it starts with the introduction and overview, and it has three subsections: project overview, objectives, and goals. And description for the each subsection is also provided. What all is required to be included in that particular section. So the second section is relates to the test strategy and approach, where you will be defining, first of all, the test types and the levels, all types of testings that are required to be performed for a particular task. It could be unit testing, integration, system, UI, UX, security, performance, accessibility, regression, or any customized testing that you may also want to design to test a particular task. Then the test methodology, how testing will be integrated into a software development lifecycle. Then comes the defect management, and then the test automation strategy. The next section relates to test cases and traceability, and it has three subsections: test case design, test case repository, and traceability matrix. And in each section where there is a further deliberation is required, I have given its complete table along with a description of what columns are required to be included in that particular subsection along with a description. So in this case, test case summary, you'll be defining the test case ID, and the format of the ID is also given, how best you can define the ID, and then the description of that particular test case, what are the preconditions, what will be the steps that will be required to conduct that test, what are the expected results, and what are the requirement ID for the traceability, to which document it can be traced back to. Then the priority of that test, it could be high, it could be medium, it could be low, and according to the priority you can select from the list, and the options are given. Then comes the test type. All the types of tests are given here. When you're going to click here, you can select multiple tests for a particular task as well. If you want to test UI UX testing along with the performance, you can select that one as well. Okay. Then comes the linked requirement, and then comes the automate, whether this task is automated or not. You can select from yes or no from here from the list. And then the next section is related to test environment and data, and it has two subsections: test environment and test data strategy. Then comes the section number 5, which relates to roles, responsibility, and schedule. And it has three subsections, and all three subsections are also defined by their respective table illustrations. Under the roles and responsibility, you'll be defining this type of a table. It can hold other columns as well, depending upon what kind of information that you want to maintain. But these three columns are mandatory, where you will be writing the name of the resource, and then the description, what type of role that resource is performing, and then the responsibilities assigned to that particular resource. Then comes the schedule and milestones, and this is in this table. You'll be defining the milestone for that particular test. What is going to be the start date and what is going to be the end date, then the owner of that particular milestone, and then you can write the notes here. Then comes the risks and mitigation table. Under this table, you will be defining the risk, the probability of that risk. It could be high, it could be medium, it could be low. Then the impact of that risk, and it is again identified in terms of high, medium, or low. And then what are the steps to mitigate that risk? And then the last section relates to the exit criteria and reporting. And this it has only one subsection, and it relates to test completion and exit. What is going to be the exit criteria? So after this introductory framework, how to design a software test plan for a particular software test product, for the particular test for testing the product, software product. Then comes an example. I have taken a web application as an example and mapped all the template steps and sections on it. So it starts with the, and I have tried to separate them in multiple sections for the sake of the clarity. So the first section is the introduction and overview, and in this section, you will define the project overview. In this case, I have defined a very brief project overview that this document outlines the test strategy, scope, and approach for validating the Supernova e-commerce platform web application. It will ensure the application meets all business and functional requirements before release to production. And then is a description, and then the scope. The second section relates to the test strategy and approach. And in this, I have defined what testing will be performed for this particular web application, Supernova e-commerce platform web application. So I'll be performing unit testing, integration testing, system testing, UI, UX testing, performance testing, security testing, accessibility testing, and regression testing. And then the next section relates to the test methodology. What methodology will be used? In this case, we'll be following the agile testing approach. And then the defect management, uh, what tools will be used as a planner for the project, workflow, what will be the workflow for the defect management. And then the last subsection in this category is test automation strategy. Then comes the third section, which relates to test cases and traceability. And it starts with the test cases and traceability. Under this, I have defined test case design techniques, which includes equivalence partitioning, and what rationale is for conducting this equal partitioning, then boundary value analysis, its rationale, then state transition testing, its rationale, and use case scenario testing. Then, since for the sake of this example, there are only four test case design techniques that I have mentioned here, and there could be many, 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 even in terms of hundreds, there could be test cases for that particular product. So it has to be stored at some secured environment, which is accessible and collaborated among the team. So you can select any of the online resource available. For this example, I have used testtrail.com, where you can create the domain for that. For example, in this case, I have taken an example of testtrail.com/supernova. So it holds all the test cases for this particular application. Uh, then comes the test case summary. I have taken four test cases as for the sake of examples. and you can add as many as possible depending upon the requirement for your particular need. So it starts with a test case ID, as already explained in the introduction, that you can create the IDs, unique IDs for each of the test case. Then its description. Then what are the preconditions for this particular task? Then comes the test steps to conduct this particular test. What are the expected results for this test case? And what are the traceability requirement ID where you can trace back this test case. Then comes this priority, as I have already explained, that you can select either from the high, medium, or low, depending on the test priority you are conducting. Then the test type, testing type, you can select from the whole list from here, whether you are conducting a unit testing, integration testing, and for this particular test case, it's a functional testing. Then there is a column for the linked requirement, that what parameters are used for conducting this particular test, and whether it's an automated or a manual, you can select from the list yes or no. Then the next section is the fifth section, which relates to the roles, responsibilities, and the schedule. And it's a very simple table. You can add as many columns as required, depending upon your requirement. But these three have to be mandatory columns for the team's roles and responsibilities. It starts with a name. You can define the name of the team here, and their role as a whether this person is a test lead, QA engineer, developer, product owner, so on and so forth, and the responsibilities assigned to that particular resource. Then comes the milestones schedules, and under this, you'll be defining the milestone that you are required to achieve. Then its start and end date. Let me just correct it here. I just noticed that it is end date repetition. Let me just correct here. Start. Okay, here you go. So start and end date, and who is the owner of this milestone, and additional notes that you want to add. Then comes the risk and mitigation table. Under this, you'll be defining the probable risks that you may encounter. For that is probability. Again, you can select from its whether its risk is going to be high, medium, or low. What impact it will be having. Uh, Again, you can select from high, medium, and low. And what are the mitigation plan? What steps will be required to mitigate that particular risk? And last section is going to be exit exit criteria and reporting. And under this section, there are two columns. The first one is the test completion and exit criteria checklist, where you'll be defining what steps are required to be taken. In this case, all planned test cycles have been executed, all priority 1 and 2 defects are closed, so on and so forth. You can define all the exit criteria checklist before releasing the product. And then last column for this last section is reporting and metrics. Daily test status will be shared in the team's Slack channel. A detailed test summary report will be published at the end of each sprint and major test cycles, including. These steps are particularly for this example only. You can add similar steps for your while designing your own test plan for your software product. So I hope this video is going to be very helpful for you, and do drop your comment, because I'll be uploading this video on my YouTube channel as well. So do subscribe to it, and drop your feedback. And if this video is helpful for you, Just give me a thumbs up and like on this video as well. Thank you very much.